No help needed. Proceed as normal.
Does the Copestone have read receipts?
Yeah, did they leave us on red for a bit?
Yeah. Or have they turned them off? Even worse.
So basically, it
It's
effectively...
okay to just say no, Johnny.
I'm sorry, I thought this was a game of imagination.
Half an hour of lore.
This is actually something I have planned into the Copestone. When a message is read, the stone starts to heal itself. So these are reusable. Basically, the writing starts to disappear and the stone sort of reconstructs itself.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So there, Luke.
So you better read it or else.
I just uncovered some cool lore.
Can you say the same?
Are the children safely secured? In ISOFIX seats?
It's okay to just. It's okay to just tell
okay to
him
say
no.
that.
Well, actually, there's some lore about wagons, Mike. No.
Could we catch a ride in your wagon?
We're not murderers.
Well, that was going to be my second question.
Oh, good.
Your
True.
I haven't murdered anyone.
That is true.
Technically.
We won't murder you. Promise.
much obliged. A bunch of them basically dotted
Maybe
about
it's
the land.
the 5G antenna for the Copestones.
It's okay to just tell him no.
So there's actually some lore about. There was Godwin. There was Joffric.
Godfrey.
Godfrey. That he was the third G. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think sometimes an abandoned wagon is just an abandoned wagon.
Cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is creepy. Where'd you get this?
Well, we make them where I'm from.
Where are you from?
Balewood.
Silly. No one's from Balewood.
I'm from Balewood.
Daddy's being silly. All the common folk in Balewood, well, there aren't any common folk in Balewood. They're all dead.
Oh, maybe I'm uncommon folk?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Daddy. Whoa.
Daddy, whoa.
You are alarmed to find that the coach originally was like sort of an off-white. It really is filthy.
That fella who said he could make big wings come out and fly around and that because of his God gave him them.
Can he? Could he?
He didn't do it. We were in the pub, but he said it. He said he could.
Within the order, if you need to quickly make a decision, then you can just flip them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like it's just a quick way of referring to total chance.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why they make a boing noise, but no, they don't. It's not canon.
Made of rubber. Yeah.
It's like a tornado of blood.
And a purple flamethrower at one point.
Purple flamethrower. Yeah.
God, that's worse than I thought. I was hoping she just sort of went around and said hello to people and things.
It was horribly violent, but it was so helpful in the moment.
Oh. Well, that's conflicting.
Sorry, Robin, I didn't mean to make you sad.
No, it's all right. I'll just sort of dwell on that for the ride.
Okay.
Cressida's just
Vine.
quietly enjoying
Say
this conversation.
Cheer up, Robin. Say something to.
It's not so bad, Robin.
Robin's sad, make him happy.
Yeah, Robin, it's not so bad.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
I mean, it's a bit bad.
Whatever's going on with you, Robin, we will figure it out.
I hope so. I don't want to flamethrower any more people.
Well, only when it's useful.
It's horrible.
Yeah, they weren't all good people that you were
No.
flamethrowing. Some of them were bad people.
But some of them were good people.
Well, we don't know.
Oh,
Some of
no.
those villagers.
Oh,
Who
no.
knows?
It'd be hard to find. My uncle Lemson, he lives out of town because they made him. Get the magic back.
Well, we need the magic to make it all work because the Green Mother, she makes it all happen. And yeah, so my God actually does stuff for us, you know.
Gets results.
Yeah.
My God gets results.
Like what?
Well, I've been.
Either a 1 or a 20.
What's the number? Or 10 numbers in between that just haven't come up. I guess cadence is real?
We're talking about religion. Does anyone want to jump in?
Cress, how you doing? I know you like wine. I made my own. I've got some in the wineskin if you want it. It's just from, stuff I find. It's quite nice. I don't mind the taste.
It does contain grapes, yes?
It's spherical stuff. Grape adjacent.
Raisins.
I mean, they look like raisins.
Interesting Okay.
No, it's not got flowers in it.
Surrounded by. Anyway,
Friends.
I'm surrounded by friends. It's not good wine. It's not good swill. It's passable sewage. But it doesn't poison you.
All sewage is by definition passable.
I regret this so much.
and
Look after
some
this coin
treasure.
that Appen gave me. I don't want to lose it.
It's
Very-
fine. You
very
can,
special to
you
me.
can keep that one.
But what if I lose it? Dude, is that not the point?
If you're really good at looking after coins, maybe we should give you all of our coins.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Lily's turned round. She's holding out a little pouch to you.
Oh,
Oh, darling. She take them. I will keep these very safe. There you go.
I've got like 10 more of those things.
Money is basically used by the upper echelons of society.
Okay, moi.
I'm the most fabulous fish out of water.
Can you throw a bucket over your house?
I
How big is the house? How
have
big
quite
is
a
the bucket?
large house.
So it would be impressive if you could do it.
What about a very small bucket?
I mean, I would simply make the bucket float over the house with magic.
Robin looks impressed.
Also, my house is an extremely small hovel in the woods, so I mean, I could probably just put the bucket on top of it and then tip it off the back.
Wow.
Do you throw a bucket over your house?
I've never tried. I'm sure I could.
Well, I don't think any of us have ever tried, but do you think you could?
I've tried.
He's tried.
Didn't go well.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah. I only had one window before that.
You had a house, so that's good. That's
Well.
something, Robin.
The house is
Until that goat took it.
it's generous. Yeah, the goat's in there now.
You did at least use like a water bucket, right? And not anything else.
I mean, there's only one bucket.
I mean, I could listen to this all day. I think we all could, but
They're talking about buckets.
Yeah.
As long as you rinse it after, it's fine.
And then you've got water in it.
Exactly.
Oh.
yeah, you're too absorbed in talking about buckets to have a look at this. But perhaps just not wanting to be
Yeah,
an
I'm
active
just-
part of this conversation, the two of you just both start looking around Willowfine and Cressida, and it throws back its head, and you hear a mournful howl, which is then taken up by the other one. And then these things start absolutely pelting towards the wagon.
I think there may be some werewolves heading our direction very fast.
Werewolves?
Werewolves?
There.
I don't think werewolves.
There. Well,
Oh.
where are the wolves? There are the wolves.
There are the wolves.
Yes.
Between
I'm gonna jump out and try and look after the, I'm gonna assume that, based on no evidence whatsoever, that Robin's taking care of the mule situation.
Oh yeah, of course you're Robin. I was like, oh right, well there, yeah, that mule situation
should be fine.
No, it's Robin. Shaggy fur that covers the full bodies of these things are intensely muscular. There is no fur, however, on the head. The head is like a grotesquely large, completely hairless human head with a sort of blue-grey skin. And it's got these eyes that are a bright yellow with sort of almost cat-like pupils and a mouth that is just bristling with teeth. These teeth are like long, thin, needle-like things. The arrow it's like your mind's eye follows it in its flight and it kind of takes off. The force of the extra drawback makes the whole thing kind of quiver, like the arrow itself kind of almost undulates. And it's kind of going along and drifts down, and it catches this thing in the chest, just below the hollow of the throat, square in there, and it falls down. The momentum of this thing kind of carries it over, and it sort of tumbles 2 or 3 times. And you see it sort of shakes itself and is getting up, and you see this thing lock eyes with you. And oh Lord, it's coming, I guess. Oh, you know what this is. Around these parts, they're known as gabble ratchets.
Right.
They are
Fun name.
Sounds like some sort of like chicken or something. I don't know.
Lug sort of jumping to action off the back of the thing and then immediately guiding bolted and then wolfed.
It's in midair.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all in the same 6 second span. It's genuinely quite impressive. Right.
Hits the ground, bounces.
Yeah, do.
The,
It's upon by pinned by one. He's so unlucky.
Is like, and then scampers onto its back
Okay.
and tries to just kind of like pull at its ears and things and just annoy it. And
okay,
yeah.
sure thing. Great.
And then also I'm gonna bonus action cast Misty Step and cast myself into the nearest tree away from everything.
Okay. There's a big old rock you could hide behind.
I'm gonna hide behind the rock.
Not dignified, but yeah,
It's
you
not
can hide
dignified, but
Okay.
there's not been a very dignifying journey so far. So
This kind of grey fur is actually literally turning to smoke, and it's sort of being picked up on the wind, and like it's turning into particles. You see, the bits of it are wisping off. They move with direction. In fact, they're being carried by the wind, and then they turn, and kind of like eels swimming up a river. They back in the direction they came. They move off.
Is this a normal way for things to die? Or is this like
You've
none
never
of us have ever seen anything like this?
You've never seen a wild folk creature die like this before. Horrible predator, even though it's fleeing, and you manage to sort of just wrench them back into it. So it takes a couple of hooves, but most importantly, there's this crunch as the wheel of the wagon kind of rolls over this thing, and it's like you've stepped on like a puffball mushroom. Like there's just this explosion of iron-like smoke that just flies up, and then like someone's thrown a spear, just disappears over a hill in the moors.
I wonder if we should consider heading in the direction that heading west, where it seems like the spirits of these creatures retreated to.
We don't want to go the opposite direction to where the horrible monsters
Mad
are.
if you think I'm taking my children in this wagon
I think
toward that. What if there are more of them?
That's a good point.
It
We
is
don't
our
have
job
to
to investigate stuff, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
there is another team west though.
Yeah, how far
Why don't
west?
we just tell
but
them
between
save our
northwest
legs?
and west.
Not our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
where's the
I
county
signed
line?
up to do northwest, and I am not going any further
It's the
west.
Statey's problem.
Not on a literal exact line.
Yes.
In the
West's
northwest
there.
direction.
West's in the name, isn't
None
it?
of our
Northwest.
business.
It occurs to all of you that the woods, while offering shelter, also aren't best pleased
They're
with
angry.
right now.
They're angry.
You're between not a rock and a hard place,
Yeah.
a tree and a wild place.
I've only ever done glamping, so I need to find an actual bed.
Need a yurt.
Literally yurt.
Yes,
A yurt
I need
or
a
better.
yurt minimum.
The axle, you can see even caked in mud, looks weird. It's kind of segmented, and each segment of this axle that's kind of spreading up and, out to the wheels appears to be a vertebrae. The wheels look odd too, sort of the spokes. Like, have you ever seen a femur?
I'm sure my traps in the vaults have broken a few, but never seen one myself.
I'm laying hands on Rod. And
It sounds like you're
on-
hitting me.
no, on the scorch marks
Throwing
from the
hands.
from all the radiant damage.
no!
And yeah,
Fix this.
you're healed for 20 hit points.
20.
Hey.
That's great. Thank you.
Bones? What bones?
Just please, I think the wheels are bones.
Oh yeah, these wheels are
Oh
made
my
of
god!
Wait.
Oh.
Were these wheels? Did they look like they were made of bones earlier?
Well, covered in
before it was
mud,
done?
weren't they? It's kind of.
Well,
shaken up.
But it was
Where
off-white.
Where I cleaned off, it was off-white.
It was an
I
off-white
thought-
cart, which is a weird colour for a cart now.
Should we brush some of
I
this mud
just-
off and see what we're working with here? Like,
Yeah.
Well, you can, I
We'll
won't.
start scrubbing away some of the dirt.
You remembered, you did clock earlier, you were like, gabble ratchets. Like, oh yeah, they can be strays, or they can be sort of part of hunting parties. They can be sort of in service to others.
right.
And you have a growing suspicion that this is something called a coacherbauer,
Right.
which is sort of like the bone coach of, there's no easy way to say, well, there is an easy way to say sort of like headless vengeful horsemen
Got it.
leading hunts and coming after anyone who wrongs them. The easy way to say it is Dullahan.
Right.
You're sort of kneeling down to check on this bone, and you can feel tremors in the ground, going into sort of your knee and the balls of your feet, and you can sort of feel like it's kind of rhythmic, like.
Oh boy. All right. I think we should move away from the coach and maybe find a rock to hide behind for the moment, because something is coming. I can feel it. This coach is bad news for us. I think we're being hunted.
It's the problem. You know how sometimes you can see things in the dark out of the corner of your eye, and it's almost like the light is being pulled into those things. You are looking directly at this thing, and it is a rider on a horse. There is no head, and behind him are about 10 gabble ratchets, and they are just tearing towards you. Like Willowfine trips, and as she kind of lurches forward, Robin just kind of grasps her upper arm and like her forearm, and you both just start absolutely pelting it. Everyone kind of rushes up and starts crawling into this tunnel that has made. And you're kind of there, like, watching these things approach. You post one child in, you post Lily through, they're sort of being pulled out. The Dullahan is still mounted, but has a whip that is just made of spine, and it's like lashing the dogs back. They all fall back into line, and they're kind of just like circling and nipping at each other, and they're restless because they've got the scent on them, and they're being stopped. You've given up the wagon, but he is still coming.
I don't know, is there some sort of offering we could give it?
Make me a wisdom perception check.
All right. Better not be one of the kids. That is a 12.
Why is Michael crying?
Why is Michael crying?
He's standing there, and I mean, they're both crying.
Yeah.
But Lily's bawling, like tears rolling down her cheeks, because she's scared. Michael is doing that sort of shoulders up by his ears, snuffling, guilty sort of crying.
Okay.
That a child.
What did you do? You can tell us.
Until you sort of see an eyeball roll in the socket and a jaw starts like working. It is a severed head.
Wow.
That is alive.
Okay. Michael, you're into some weird stuff. Is this what, like, 10-year-olds are into these days, or whatever age you are?
Are 10-year-olds into skulls with, like, wiggling jaws and wiggling eyes? Hell yes.
Awesome.
It's like the slime.
Yeah.
Maybe they trade them in the playground.
Yeah, right.
Where did you find this? Was it in the carriage? Yeah, okay.
He stops
Like so.
and sees that you've got the head. And then the hounds start howling. And he keeps walking
Okay.
towards you.
Okay.
He does not
We
see
shouldn't have done
a turn.
I mean, I can still torch it.
Robin, you feel an arm slip around your shoulders, and a voice just says in your ear, "You'll owe me a favour for this one."
I look around.
A man steps sort of past Robin and over to you, Willowfine, and just sort of takes the head from you. He's wearing like a jacket, and it's leather, but it's made of like lots of little patches of leather, like it's just been sewn up and re-sewn over the years. And he's wearing, you know, like when they've got those hats and it's just like there's a disc of leather and they put it on their head and just sort of tie a thing around it. Sort of wearing that, he's sort of got like a scraggly beard.
It's him
He
again,
looks
it's that
really
fella.
weird. He takes the head, flashes you a grin, and then he leaps into the air, like high above this wall of brambles. And he, for a second, seems to like land on the side of a tree, and then he kicks off, sailing over the head of this Dullahan and the hunting party. And he tears off across the moors. The Dullahan, like, it lets out this hiss of rage. It's like a gurgling shriek from severed
Bubbles
windpipe.
popping out the top
Yeah,
of it.
like a gurgling, horrible, like, scream.
And I'm walking, and I see them surrounding Robin, being like, "We need to talk to her." And I'd just like to walk up and go bonk on the back of their head with my
Okay.
spell book.
Sure.
Knock him unconscious.
Yeah.
You just see me appear with a book in my hand.
The Wyrdwood appears to want you to stay for now. In fact, you hear behind, like if you're looking out to where they're disappearing, trying to get their mules back because their mules are gone. You hear the brush kind of open up and a very clear, distinct path is laid out for you. Would you care to follow it?
I think we probably ought to.
You walk down it for a minute or so. The moon is rising now over Hailth, and you get a horrible creeping feeling that you are being summoned by someone.